Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ananda Healing Hypnosis. You'll notice that this recording today will just be a visual image only recording. And the reason for that is because I will actually be giving a story about a recent past life regression session that I did with a client. I chose this story because I did find it to be interesting, and I just wanted to give a little bit of background on, what a past life session can kind of be like. Now, when I do past life sessions, I don't typically do them in just one session. I typically do them in two or maybe even three. And the reason for that is because the first session is to, one, ensure that you can actually go back into a past life, which almost everybody can, but there are instances where, maybe there is a spiritual block, as in maybe this person has an attachment of some sort, and the spirit that is connected is blocking this person from experiencing a past life. There could be, other reasons as well. Maybe this person just isn't quite ready yet, but the vast majority of people, probably, 99% of people, have no issue going back to a past life. It's actually incredibly easy. It's like accessing a memory, but this memory just happens to be of a different life, of a different body. Same soul, just different life, different body. So anyway, just wanted to give a little bit of background for why you will not be seeing my face and you will just be hearing my voice. So you can enjoy this story while maybe do some other things, or maybe just while you're relaxing for the night. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the story. So I did have a client come to me recently, and she came to me with a presenting issue of being what she referred to as overly independent. And honestly, I thought this was an interesting way to describe it, but as we talked more, what we were able to uncover is that she is independent to the point that she actually ends up pushing people away. So it can make, having and keeping relationships difficult and can strain some of her current relationships because she has a fear of asking for help and actually allowing others to help her when she needs it. So I know that this is actually a very common issue, if you want to call it an issue, in life, but it presents problems. It presents, you know, us from really experiencing life in the way that we are hoping to and wanting to. So as we got into the session, she got comfortable and relaxed, and I had her go through the tunnel. And as she entered the end of the tunnel, she suddenly noticed that she was wearing a long, dingy, ragged dress. So just to give a little insight real quick too, when I refer to this tunnel, when you go into a past life, I have you walk through a tunnel as a way to transition from this life to the next. I won't be giving a lot of background on how the experience itself goes. Basically, I'm just going to give the story. So moving along with the story, this person, she entered a scene that was in the late 1700s, the early 1800s, and she could sense that she was a young woman who lived out in the country on a farm, away from town, and she was alone with her father. She lived out on a cottage, and she felt that her life in this little country cottage was just frustrating. She often took care of her father on top of farm work and sewing work that was expected of her to help put food on the table. So she felt like she was just, sick of the drudgery that came with this lifestyle. only having just enough, not having any friends, feeling a lack of independence to be able to do the things that she wants to do. She's feeling forced to care for her father and her father's land. And she just had a longing to be free of all the things holding her back. So, as the scene came to an end, she did find herself mourning her father's death. Yet, she also noticed that she was finally able to gain the independence that she so longingly sought. So, as we enter the next scene, it's just a couple years down the road, and she notices how she's living in town in a house where she also does sewing work for the owner, who's a shop lady that has the energy of her mother from this life. So she recognizes that her mother represents a sort of support system for now and then. She now has friends and enjoys flirting with some of the men, and she's feeling much more cheerful and at ease now. She gathered that it was important for her to learn patience when it comes to life itself. Where we start is not where we end. So in the final scene, just a couple more years down the road, she discovered that she was walking down the road barefoot, wearing a plaid dress and a straw hat. She had just had a conversation with her new husband that involved her quitting her job of sewing so she could take care of the kids and him. But this isn't something that she wanted, so she walked away, walked down the road to just go to work and do the sewing job that she absolutely loved and enjoyed. She was thinking that she wasn't even really sure if she wanted kids, but she did know that she felt a strong desire to keep her independence intact. So that does summarize that scene, and now we'll go ahead and enter the next scene. So now, as we enter her death scene, she's laying on her deathbed, and she noticed that she was surrounded by those she loved. She noticed she did end up having kids, as both of them were sitting beside her, ready to say goodbye. And she felt ready to pass on, because it had been a good life. As she leaves her body, she can see her body, her son and daughter, and she felt a sense of gratitude as her body had done its job. She easily accepts that bodies are not forever. And as she's drawn into the light, she can feel herself moving into something bigger. Now that she's entered this space for completing her life review, she connects with her spirit guides and soul counsel to gain insight on what this life meant for her. The lesson that she was able to pull forward is that it's okay to just be herself. She also came to the realization that her current life was connected to that past life because she feels a constant struggle to just be herself and not what everyone else expects her to be. In her past life, she went through a variety of experiences with set expectations of how she must live her life. It started out as taking care of her father, then finding her independence, but sort of losing it in marriage and parenting. The key that she must remember is to be herself, and this is important so she doesn't get lost in what others expect of her. She can be herself and still be loved by those that matter. She can be herself and still have her independence. So now with the final teaching, she understands that she can let go of all the things that aren't her. And now she can start doing more of the things that she actually loves and enjoys. So that summarizes what this client experienced in that past life. Now, it may not seem like a super exciting story, but the point of this story is to show, how when we go back into past life, how much it really does tie into the issue that we are attempting to resolve. It can be a pretty direct representation. If you kind of notice some of the symbolism and, how the story played out in particular, I didn't really give a whole lot of background on what she is experiencing in her life right now, but the whole independence piece, I think that pretty much explains it all in itself. So it does definitely tie in together, and it helped her to understand, you know, where a lot of what she's experiencing, where it's stemming from, not only from in this life, but also in a past life. So, with this first session, we were able to get to the core of the issue for why this client felt an overwhelming desire to keep her independence intact. In a previous life, she, lost out on some of her independence by giving into the expectations of society. So, yeah, that basically sums up what I wanted to share with you guys today. It's just a very brief story, but it's kind of fun to like understand the experience that you could go through, the details that come up, the story in itself and how it all connects. But what I will be doing is definitely more of these. If this is something that you find interesting, go ahead, give this a thumbs up so that way I know to do more of these videos. You can also comment below and ask any questions that you want to, like if there's more on the videos that you would like me to go into, maybe more of the Life Between Lives stage. Just let me know because I can definitely add more. This is, of course, the first storyline video of a past life regression session, so it'll get better as we go. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this as much as I do and did, because I definitely plan to do more of these. So thank you so much for listening to this. I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, if you did, go ahead, give this a thumbs up and, share this with others if you're interested in doing so. All right. Much love to you all. Bye.